Hello there, I'm David Amalotti. Our parent company, Sinclair Broadcasting and KHQA, continue to work for you, keeping you informed on complex political issues facing our nation. And we continue our Connect to Congress initiative with U.S. Representative Darin Lahood from Illinois' 18th Congressional District. He joins us via satellite in Washington, D.C. Good afternoon, Congressman Lahood. How are you?
Hey, David, I'm doing well. Good to be with you and your viewers today.
It's always great to have you. Let's get underway with Inauguration Day. It's just a couple of days away, and I want to know, do you plan on attending? And if so, what do you hope to hear from President-elect Donald Trump in that inaugural address?
Yes, I do plan to attend the inauguration on January 20th, and I'm also excited. We've had about 500 requests from my congressional district for people that are coming for the inauguration. So I look forward to a great day for America. And I think what I look for in the president's address, his inauguration address, is a lot of talk about hope and prosperity for the country. We had a very divided election, and healing those wounds, bringing people together, that's what I'll be looking for. And I think all the issues that Donald Trump talked about in the campaign, about a better economy, making America great again, fixing health care, an infrastructure plan that rebuilds America, helping with jobs and economic opportunities. Those are things that he ran on, that he got elected on, and hopefully we can find bipartisan support for that. And I think the president will talk about that on Inauguration Day, and so I'm looking forward to being there and then working hard in the Congress to help the president-elect to accomplish some of those goals and again, get the country back on track.
You know, it seems in recent weeks when we discuss President-elect Donald Trump, Russia becomes a topic. What can or should be done to stabilize a U.S. relationship with Russia after those allegations of election hacking and sanctions from the Obama administration? It seems tensions are back up. What are your thoughts on maybe Vladimir Putin's indication that he wants to work with the incoming Trump administration?
Well, I think we have to be cautious when it comes to Russia. And I say that because Russia is not a democracy. It is not a country that's been supportive of human rights. It's really been adversarial to our international interests when it comes to Syria, when it comes to Ukraine, when it comes to Latvia, Eastern Europe. I think we have to take a cautious approach, and I think listening to our intelligence services on that is important. I think the sanctions have been effective, and so I guess I would look for being very cautious when it comes to Putin. Remember, Putin comes from the KGB. I don't think he has the best interest of America at heart, and I think we need to be cautious of that. And I would listen to our military folks that are coming in. Donald Trump is bringing in some tremendous minds when it comes to the military and it comes to our intelligence services, whether that's Mike Flynn, his national security advisor, or General Mattis at the Department of Defense, or the incoming CIA director, and Mike Pompeo. I think those are smart, bright people, and I hope that President-elect Trump listens to them, and I think he will.
Now, President Obama is on Capitol Hill today, Congressman Lahood. It's a final effort to try and save his Affordable Care Act. A big criticism of his time in office is that he did not reach out to enough members of Congress. Is this too little too late?
Well, I think it is. Let's face it, Obamacare did not fulfill the promises it originally intended to do. Remember what was originally said with Obamacare, that you're going to be able to keep your doctor, costs are going to go down, you're going to have more options when it's come to health care. In the state of Illinois, premiums have gone up 44% in the last few years in the state of Illinois. In my district, they've doubled and gone up upwards to 60 and 70%. So we have to change health care. I think if you look at the presidential election, Hillary Clinton even talked about changing Obamacare. So I think you'll find bipartisan support on that. I'm supportive of repealing Obamacare and putting in place common sense health care that's cost efficient, that brings down premiums and costs for middle America families, and also gives you more health care options. I think you can do that. There's a number of provisions I think we need to keep in there. Being able to keep your children on health care until they're 26 on their parents' health care insurance is good. Not being able to discriminate because of pre-existing conditions is another good thing. But figuring out a way to pay for that is more important. Being able to go across state lines for insurance, more competition, more marketplace ideas. I guess the bottom line is, David, having the federal government run healthcare is not the right approach. I think we have to have a more reasonable approach. I look forward to, again, working in a bipartisan way to fix our healthcare system, bring down those premiums. That will help our economy with more jobs, more opportunities, again, getting government out of the way.
Now, just two questions remaining for you, Congressman Lahood. And first, I want to ask you, recently the amendment to overhaul the Office of Congressional Ethics was pulled from consideration on the floor. Credit has been given to President-elect Trump, efforts by congressional Democrats and constituents calling in. But what do you credit ultimately influencing GOP leadership to pull this measure?
Well, we originally considered this measure on Monday night in a closed House conference, and I voted against it then. I don't believe this is the time to be really gutting or changing our Ethics Commission here in Congress. And, you know, if there was a message that came out of the election in November, it was we need to drain the swamp. We need to fix Washington. And on day one, to be gutting the Ethics Committee, or the OCE as it's called, I didn't think was the right approach. I voted against that Monday night. I was glad that my other colleagues saw fit on Tuesday morning to change that, and we changed that and brought that to the House floor, and I think that was the right approach. You know, so again, that's my personal opinion on it. I think, again, we need to look at how we have a more accountable, efficient, and ethical government. That's what the American people want, particularly here in Congress. And so I give credit to President-elect Trump, but also to our Republican colleagues that spoke out against it. Speaker Ryan did, Majority Leader McCarthy did, and a number of others, and I was proud to be with them to support that change.
Now, before we let you go, what are some of your legislative priorities for this 2017 year in this new Congress?
Well, I think the economy has to be first and foremost. In central and west central Illinois, we have a very stagnant economy. We need more economic growth, more jobs, more opportunities. And the federal government can play a role in that. We're not going to create more jobs. What we can do is get government out of the way so the private sector can flourish. And I think we can look at a number of public policy aspects, comprehensive tax reform, bringing down our tax rates, and to spur economic growth. Reforming Obamacare is a big part of that. Regulations are a big part of that, whether it's regulations in our healthcare system, regulation in our financial systems, regulations as it relates to our farmers and agriculture. So getting rid of regulations and getting those out of the way, I think, can be helpful. I also think we need to have a good infrastructure bill. Donald Trump has talked about a $1 trillion infrastructure bill. I think he'll find a lot of bipartisan support on that, getting people back to work, upgrading our infrastructure, more roads, more bridges, improving our infrastructure. And in central and west central Illinois, we need improved infrastructure. And so I think those are a number of priorities that I look forward to being supportive of. And again, to get the economy back on track. A pro-growth economy, David, helps so many things. Getting our economy at 2 or 3 or 4% growth, more money into our economy helps bring down our debt, more money for education, more money for transportation, more money for infrastructure, getting people back to work. I look forward to being part of those solutions that help bring us economic growth, and so I'm optimistic about our session of Congress.
Congressman Darin Lahood from Illinois' 18th Congressional District. Congressman, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, David.